Christ Trump Sr., better known as Fred Trump, was an American real estate developer and the father of 45th President of the U.S., Donald Trump. Fred Trump built more than 27,000 apartments in and around New York City. He was called the Henry Ford of the home building industry.
Childhood and early life. Fred Trump was born on October 11, 1905 in the Bronx, New York City. His parents, Elizabeth and Frederick Trump, were German Lutheran immigrants. His father was from Cologne, Germany, and was a barber who later earned a small fortune in the Klondike Gold Rush. He died of flu when Trump was 13. Trump was the second of 3 children of his parents. He grew up with his elder sister, Elizabeth Trump Walters, and a younger brother, John J. Trump. His middle name, Christ, was taken from his mother's maiden name. Their family shifted to Woodhaven, Queens after Fred's birth. He studied at the Richmond Hill High School. He was only 15 years old when he founded his own construction business in partnership with his mother, Elizabeth, in the 1920s. He named the venture E. Trump and Son. As he was underage, his mother handled the official work till he was 21. Trump began by building garages for the newly invented and marketed automobiles. He learned carpentry and studied how to read blueprints. He built his first house 2 years after graduating. Career. Trump had already completed 20 buildings in Queens by 1926. He built a supermarket, Trump Market, in Woodhaven during the Great Depression of the 1930s. His market, which used a tagline, "Serve yourself and save," became successful, and the next year he sold it to the supermarket chain King Cullen. Fred Trump's company constructed barracks and apartments for the U.S. Navy officers during World War II. These were built near shipyards of various places, including Newport News, Pennsylvania, Chester, and Norfolk, all along the East Coast. He built more than 2,000 middle-income group apartments for war veterans and their families. He built Shore Haven in Bensonhurst in 1949 and Beach Haven near Coney Island in 1950. He raised a housing complex of more than 3,000 apartments called Trump Village in the Coney Island between 1963 and 1964. The cost of this complex was estimated at $70 million. Trump built large apartment complexes and row houses around Sheephead Bay, Flatbush, Coney Island, Brighton Beach, Bensonhurst in Brooklyn, Flushing, and Jamaica Estates in Queens. He retained the ownership, and the apartments were given on affordable rent. His constructions were marked with sturdy brick towers with neat and presentable parts around them. Donald Trump joined Trump Management in 1968, and in 1980 he changed the name to the Trump Organization. During the mid-1970s, he took a loan of $1 million from his father to start his own real estate business in Manhattan. Reportedly, there were a number of loans which amounted to much more than what was stated. Fred Trump was often compared to car magnate Henry Ford. He hated borrowing money and was very frugal by nature. It is said that he would visit the construction sites after a day's work and collect the nails that he found lying around. He would then hand them over to the carpenters the following day. For quite some time, he did not have an office and operated from home. He did all his bookkeeping in a small pocketbook. Around 1940, he got a small place as his office. Amy Lawson worked as his secretary for 59 years. During the post-World War II years, Trump claimed to be Swedish descent and concealed his German ancestry. Those were the peak years of his career, As many of his tenants were Jewish, he was afraid that the German lineage would hurt his business. Personal life. Trump married Marianne McLeod in January 1936. They lived in Jamaica, Queens, and had 5 children. Marianne Trump Berry, born 1937, who later became a federal appeals court judge. Frederick Christ Trump Jr., born 1938, who later became an airline pilot. Elizabeth Trump Brown, born 1942, a Chase Manhattan Bank executive. Donald Trump, born 1946, the 45th President of the U.S. And Robert Trump, born 1948, President of Trump Management. Frederick Trump Jr. died in 1981, following alcoholism-related complications. Trump supported various charity houses, including various Jewish and Israeli institutions, the Salvation Army, the Boy Scouts of America, and the Q Forest School, where his children studied. He donated buildings to organizations such as the Jamaica Hospital Medical Center, the National Kidney Foundation, the Cerebral Palsy Foundation, and the Community Mainstream Associates of Great Neck. Trump suffered from Alzheimer's disease for the last 6 years of his life. In June 1999, he fell ill with pneumonia and was admitted to the Long Island Jewish Medical Center. He died on June 25, 1999, at the age of 93.
Oh.